There are 4 elemental skills that we can imbue our weapon skills with to create powerful synergies in Crimson Desert. The first one that is available to us is Lightning Surge. Unlocking it requires completion of several Abyss puzzles, and there are a few extra tricks to get the most out of it once we do unlock it. All of that will be covered in this guide, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. First, to unlock Lightning Surge, we will need to have completed the main quest line up to the end of Chapter 4. During the Spire of the Stars quest step, we'll make our way up said spire and traverse an Abyss gate to the Sanctorium of Insight. However, during this first visit, something will happen and prevent us from actually proceeding through that location. At that point, there will just be one step left in the Chapter 4 main quest, so we might as well complete it. We can then fast travel back to the Sanctorium of Insight. This puzzle is basically complete, so we just need to travel past where the Abyss artifact is normally obtained, activate the Abyss Bridge, and proceed forward until we reach the Secret Garden. Upon our arrival at the Secret Garden, we'll need to complete a puzzle involving lasers. Force palm jumping up to the platform directly in front of us, we can use Axiom Force to control the active laser device and aim it up towards a different reflecting panel. This will allow the beam to fall on the left of the 2 laser receptacles. We'll then need to go grab a square panel battery and move it up towards its socket, which is located near the second laser device. Also, I'm doing all these puzzles without the aid of the Force Current skill. Force Current is a skill that can be used to channel Force Palm through the Axiom Force Tether and affect whatever the tether is attached to. In this case, it would be our square panel battery. Unlocking it requires having both Force Palm and Axiom Force at level 2, and then spending one more artifact to actually unlock Force Current. It is an investment, but will make completing these puzzles a lot easier. For example, with what we are doing right now, we could just position the square panel battery up against its socket, then channel Force Current through the tether to complete the connection. However, without it, you'll need to do something similar to what I do, where I glide over to the socket and climb on it, then do a manual Force Palm up close. In the end, all that matters is that we plug in that battery, activating the second laser device. We can then use Axiom Force to control the second laser and aim it at the appropriate reflecting panel to land the second laser on the right laser receptacle. With both receptacles activated, the way forward will open. We can then glide to ride up the air current, connect a separated conduit back together, and perform a crouched Force Palm on the final button to restore the Secret Garden Abyss. We can then collect our Abyss artifact and head south to reach the next Abyss island, the Vault of Vengeance. The first step we'll need to complete at the Vault of Vengeance is to move 2 activation cubes to their respective slots. This will deactivate the barrier barring our path. We can then shoot 2 targets on either side of the next door to open a lock and use Nature's Grasp to open the way forward. As far as I know, this next room does require level 1 of the Focused Shot skill to complete. Unlocking that skill will also require us to unlock Marksmanship level 2 and Focus level 2. Marksmanship is the second skill from the center in the blue tree, and Focus is the second skill from the center in the green tree. I'm not sure about the inputs for other setups, but on an Xbox controller, we need to hold the left trigger to aim, then click down both the right and left stick to enter Focus Shot mode. While still holding the left trigger down, we can then click right bumper to mark our targets. We'll need to mark all 4 targets around the top of the room, then release the left trigger to fire all shots off in quick succession. If done correctly, this will deactivate the defenses and allow us to grab the sword at the room center. That will bring us down to a laser obstacle course, and there is a way to get past all these lasers without taking damage, but I sort of made a mess of it. We'll then need to plug in a square panel battery, and again, force current will definitely make this easier to do. After that, we can take the teleporter to the surface where we must plug in a rectangle battery, again, force current. Once that's done, we can force palm the final device to restore the Vault of Vengeance Abyss. There's a gold chest up to the left beyond some foliage that we can burn away with the Blinding Flash skill. More importantly, the Abyss artifact for this island is located to the right. After grabbing it, we can then proceed to the next and final Abyss island, at least for our purposes, which is the Courtyard of Precision. The Courtyard of Precision is actually pretty quick to complete. All we need to do is activate a series of targets with our focused shot skill by shooting only the yellow targets. The first 3 groups of these targets can be found around the central pit. There are actually 4 groups of targets, but one of them has already been activated. Once all 4 of these initial target groups are active, the fan in the central pit should turn on. We can then ride this current up to get in the proper position for using focus shot on the last 2 groups of targets, which are aerial. I found that it's easier to do these focus shots by starting the focus aim process while going up, rather than waiting until we are already falling back down. Upon force palming the final device, we will restore the Abyss for the Courtyard of Precision and unlock the Lightning Surge skill. Since we're already here, we might as well go collect our last Abyss artifact, and I'll also be showing the path to take if you want to reach the next Abyss island, Altar of Solitude. Be sure to stick around though, as after we reach it, I'll show how to use Lightning Surge and imbue offensive skills with lightning so that we can get the most out of our efforts. So completing the Courtyard of Precision got us the Lightning Surge skill. However, if we want to imbue certain attacks with lightning, we'll need to spend at least one artifact, though possibly more, on the Imbue Element skill. I'll just be demonstrating with the first level of this skill, which allows us to imbue the Turning Slash with our element of choice. Turning Slash is basically our ultimate melee attack performed by pressing right trigger and right bumper simultaneously. First, we need to select the lightning element by holding right on the D-pad, then select it with the directional stick. If we just want to use Lightning Surge, we can then click right trigger and the B button at the same time. The imbued attack is much more useful though. To execute it properly, we should hold down the right trigger and right bumper to initiate the Turning Slash charge up, then click and hold down on left trigger to imbue it with lightning. We can then release all three at once to perform the imbued Turning Slash. If we have armor equipped with an Abyss gear that augments our lightning imbued attacks, such as the Orbs of Lightning gear, it will add additional effects. In the case of lightning orbs, it will summon orbs that smite nearby enemies with bolts of lightning. If you have any questions about what was covered in this guide, you can reach out to me in the comments where I will do my best to help. I'll have guides on how to unlock the other 3 elemental skills over on my channel, so you can go there to find them, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Thursday, and as always, thanks for watching.